Danny, as always, thanks for joining us. League Leaders Shield presented at Halifax last Sunday with 5 matches remaining and another tick on the pre-season target sheet.
Yeah, just a really good achievement by the boys really as a squad. I think they've had a real target on that after Wembley. It will kind of reassess and start again really, and I think they've done that with a great attitude. I think the last 3 or 4 weeks we've sort of picked our game up again, and there's been some real drive from it within the squad, and to do it with those games remaining is a great achievement. Really sort of a good reward for what the club's done as a whole, what the family, the Ellis family has sort of put in, and what the sort of staff and the players have sort of, it's a reward for the hard work more than anything, and the attitude towards it all. And you know, it gives us an opportunity now to sort of have a look, reassess and get ready for the sort of big games coming up.
That leads me into the next question. 5 games remaining, you've won the League Leaders Shield. Is it time to relax a little bit, or do we keep the momentum going?
I think it shows really in our performance that momentum's a big thing really, and I think you look at our good performances throughout the year, they've sort of come off the back and been building performances off the back of other good performances. So like I said before, it gives us that opportunity now to really build in towards this back end of the season. We've got some real tough challenges coming up. Starting with Swinton this week, who'll play some really good stuff. You know, their half-backs played really well against us last time, kicked the ball really well, so there'll be a bit of a challenge for us this week. And then some teams that are in some really good form in the league. You know, York coming up there on a great run now. Doncaster are a real challenge as well. So leading into them big games at the back end of the year, we've got some challenges along the way still.
Going back to last Sunday, how good was it to have Matt Coaster back in the team, and of course Renault Fatoni returning?
Yeah, I think you look at those boys that came back in at the weekend, and we're blessed with a really good group of middles at the minute that really drive each other. And I think you add Josh Bowden into that mix, who's been a real cement player for us this year. I think he's been a great leader within that group of middles. You know, he's highly respected amongst the group, and he did a great job. Obviously, Renz is sort of really athletic and can do both sides of the game. He can go really direct, but he can play with the ball a lot, so he definitely adds to us. And Cos has had an extended break for a head injury, and I think he's really used the time well. He's spent a lot of time with Ben Cooper and the conditioning staff, and he's come back in some great shape, and I think it showed the way that he played at the weekend as well. It's probably one of his better performances for us.
Any signs of Caleb, Isaiah, Mason coming back?
Yeah, obviously sort of different breaks for those boys. I think you know, Ice is back in and around training now. He's looking really good after a long layoff with that wrist injury. Caleb's still with sort of conditioning and medical staff. He's not a million miles away. And then, you know, Mason's sort of in and around the place and sort of looking to get back before the end of the season. They're a little bit different on there too, but Isaiah's sort of edging his way back in, and hopefully will come into contention.
Swinton, you mentioned on Sunday. How's the preparation been going?
It's been really good. I think we had a great performance against Halifax. I think the things that we worked on the previous week, the team really put it into place and performed really well off the back of it. I think our middle unit were direct and very tough, and on the edges we dealt with, you know, the Halifax shifts really well, which causes a bit of trouble in the game at our place. So moving on to sort of Swinton, we know again that they're going to be a team that are going to move the ball on us, but preparations started really well. The boys have recovered really well, and we've had a great session this morning, and you know, looking forward to building into the weekend.
You mentioned earlier about the teams that are playing well but might get into the playoffs. Obviously it's going to be Trinity, Toulouse, we think perhaps Sheffield, Bradford. You mentioned York and Doncaster. What about Featherstone and Widnes? They're putting some form together, aren't they?
Yeah, Featherstone have sort of turned a bit of a corner over the last few weeks. Obviously, they've sort of brought James Lockwood back into their squad, who were a real leader for them last year, and they've picked up sort of 3-4 wins on the bounce now. But that's this league for you. I think if you're on your game, you can sort of get a group of wins going really, but equally the same if you're not on your game and you sort of off it a little bit, teams will come and challenge you, and every team in this league challenges you with the ball. Everyone moves the ball around really well and plays some nice attacking stuff. So I think defensively is the key really. If you're on your defence, you tend to be in and around games, and that's one thing that we've been really good at this year. But I reckon, yeah, Feather are going to be pushing for that spot, along, like we say, with York as well.
So those teams should be worrying about us rather than vice versa?
Well, I think it's more we just worry about ourselves, really, and I think it's a bit of a cliche as that, but I think it's very important for us. I think you know, we've tried to do that throughout the year, really focus on our own game and make sure that we're sort of really clued up and really sort of just know our systems more than anything, and I think the boys have done really well with that. They've sort of worked on their individual combinations. Obviously we've had a lot of change in the squad throughout the year, really, so it's been quite frustrating at times, but I think they've handled that really well. We sort of give them enough on opposition in terms of footage so they know what's going to be coming at them, but the main thing for us is making sure that we perform well to our ability, and if we do that, you know, we're a very good team.